Multipass. Multipass. Hey, welcome to another 4K Ultra HD review. I'm your host, Billy Hoosh. Today we're going to review the 20th anniversary edition of The Fifth Element. Now, believe it or not, this is a French movie. I would just assume that it's a Hollywood action film since it's got Bruce Willis as the star of it. But no, it's made by Luc Besson, who also created one of my other favorite movies, Léon the Professional. And this movie is an action classic. It's really enjoyable. It's fun. It reminds me of that time, the late 90s, with movies like Rush Hour and whatnot out, these fun action movies. And this really scratches that itch if you just want to turn your brain off and watch a popcorn flick. The film's plot is about, I guess, every couple thousand years, some great evil dark moon comes to crash into the earth, and the ultimate person, the perfect human being in ancient Egypt, is used to destroy that great evil. So it starts in the early 1900s as these aliens come and try to seal away the secret and have people pass it on from generation to generation, and then goes into the future where we're met up with Bruce Willis's character, who seems to be a retired war vet or a commando or something, and they fall upon Lilu, who is the perfect human being who's going to save the planet, and his mission is to get these stones that are used to unlock the superpower to send some death ray beam to destroy the great evil. Gary Oldman also plays a bad guy who is, I guess he runs evil corporation in the future and is under the influence of this great evil to sabotage the saving of the planet. Great movie. This is a Sony Pictures release. I would say for sure I was very impressed by the packaging. It's nice quality, jewel case. It's got both the Blu-rays in it. You get the 4K and you get the regular HD Blu-ray inside. No fuss, no muss. Another thing I noticed about this release, which made it stand out compared to other 4K Blu-rays that I review, is they put some effort in the menu system. I was quite surprised. This is one of the nicest menu systems. It has some sort of interactivity to it, opposed to stuff that look like old DVDs from the early 2000s. So big ups to Sony. I don't know if that's a Sony thing. We'll see once we review more Sony Pictures films to see if that is a common thread. The picture looks amazing. The sound really stands out in this film. It's mixed really well. It's good quality overall. Now, other things with it, I guess some trivia is, going into this movie, I read somewhere that Luc Besson was sued due to IP law because this was very similar to the French comic, The Incan. And so The Incan is a comic written by one of my favorite directors, is Alejandro Jodorowsky, and it's drawn by Moebius, a very famous French, I guess, comic book designer. He came up with the concepts with the Alien series, and he's a very distinct style. Now, you can see that with the Blue Diva alien opera singer. She definitely looks like a Moebius design. But yeah, Besson was sued for lifting a lot from the Incan, and I started reading the Incan comic, and yeah, there are some similarities for sure between the film and the comic. And it's funny, on this movie there is an interview, a relatively newer interview with the director, where immediately off the bat he lays down the story, saying that he came up with this idea when he was a child, and almost overcompensating with trying to say that that was his idea. Whereas I believe the comic book came out in the early 80s, and it was a French comic book. I believe Moebius was also used. He may have created some of the storyboards for this film, so there could have been an influence in that as well. I like Besson's movies. After watching some interviews with him, I kind of don't like him as a person, which is okay. You can separate the artist with the art. But yeah, I kind of didn't like him as a person. And it was really funny. You see that he has some criminal charges against him for sexual harassment, and kind of like the Harvey Weinstein kind of type. And when he goes about talking about in the interview how Mila Jovovich was casted as Lilu in this film, there's a lot there for interpretation on how she got the role if you listen to the interview.
Mila was a little different because the first time I saw her on the casting, it didn't went very well. In fact, she was too nervous, too much makeup, and she was very uncomfortable. So I thought she was great, but you know, it didn't happen. And like a month later, I was in LA in an hotel, and I met her in the lobby. I said, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" She was just a white T-shirt, no makeup, ponytail, much more relaxed. We take a drink, we talk. I said, "You want to do one more test?" And she said, "Yeah, sure."
This woman is mankind's most precious possession. She is perfect.
And then she was amazing.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Yeah. It's very interesting that she met up with him after her poor audition, and in the hotel ended up landing the role. Besson ended up marrying her, and there's a lot of controversy around this. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff with this. I mean, I like Roman Polanski movies, but yeah, I don't like Roman Polanski as a person. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Another interesting thing is Ruby, the character played by Chris Tucker, was originally supposed to be played by Prince. Or I think during that time he may have been the artist formerly known as Prince. And boy, would have that been amazing. You can tell by the way Chris Tucker's playing the role, he's probably channeling Prince. But I read that Prince wasn't able to play it because of a scheduling issue. He was on tour or whatnot. The other thing I read was that it was either between Bruce Willis or Mel Gibson, and Mel Gibson passed on it. In the interview on this 4K, Besson talks about how he was worried that Bruce Willis would cost them too much, and they had to go into negotiations of a wage to make sure Bruce Willis would go for acting in this film. Overall, I would say that this movie is great. This copy of this movie is fantastic. And besides the qualms I have against the director, which shouldn't be anything to do with this rating, I give this a 9 out of 10. I definitely think that this is a great part of anyone's collection, especially if you like action movies and sci-fi. This is amazing. So 9 out of 10. And that's my 4K review on The Fifth Element. If you like what you see, please click subscribe, hit like, hit that notification bell so you know the next time there's a new 4K review for you. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite action movie from the 90s? Let me know. I'm very curious to see. Anyways, I hope you have a great week. I appreciate you.